All right, let's get into this. Alaina's Rules to Dating 101. Now, mind you, I do have a very traditional mindset when it comes to with today's dating norms. But I've been dating for about a year now, and I was in a relationship for 8.5 years. So I feel like with what I have set in place, really pushes away any people that just want to do the hookups or fun, because I'm very upfront about what I want, and all the people I have dated, they have known that, and it really sets aside the people that actually want to put in effort and the people that don't. So let's get into it. All right, rule number 1. Now, this is more so for yourself, but write down what you are looking for. I have had this list, I reference it. Now, does everybody check the box? No. I've only had one guy actually check all of the boxes that I had, but it's still a good base to go off of. And when you are talking to somebody to get to know them, you could also reference it. On the other side of my sheet, I also have what I like, what I have to offer. So just something nice to look at. Rule number 2. No hooking up. Now, again, that's where that traditional stuff comes in. That's not my thing. To me, like, that's a special moment between two people, and you shouldn't just be giving yourself to anybody like that, especially with these scrubs. So, the first at least 3 dates, you will be taking me out in public, whether that be some type of activity, museum, food, whatever. We are meeting in public. You will not be coming to my home. I will not be going to yours. Now, out of all these guys that I've dated, that has never even been a thing. Oh, come over, come hang out. No, they know better, and they knew with me that they were going to meet me in public. And like, once things get comfortable, yeah, sure, maybe after the 3rd or 4th date, then you could start integrating that into seeing each other's homes, whatever. But no, you are going to meet in public. Also, to touch on that, I will be meeting you. You will not be picking me up. Sure, whatever, you may be trying to be a nice gentleman and offer, but it is a dangerous world, and you will not know where I live. So I will meet you in public till I am comfortable. Also, on the subject of dates, you will be paying for the dates. I am not going to pay. I like to be courted and pursued, so I'm not going to pay. So, now, I think this is rule like number 4. I am looking at your words and your actions. I like to be told good morning, good night. I like to get flowers. I like having the door held open for me, whether that be the car or wherever we're going. I'm looking at those little things, because if you can't provide that for me, you're not really what I want. Number 5, I think. Questions I like to ask are, how long have you been single and what are you looking for? Because if you've been single for a very short amount of time, you are not ready. You could say you're ready, but you're not. So I usually prefer to date people that have been single for maybe about a year, close to a year. And then also seeing what they're looking for. I want a very serious relationship. And if that's not what you want, we're not going to mesh. Rule number 6, start setting those boundaries. As we've talked about up until this point, you already are. So one of the other things I like to mention is that I do not need them. I'm a very independent woman, and I'm sorry, I want a boyfriend, I want a relationship, sure, but I don't need you. Rule number 7, go into dates with no expectations. To me, I look at it as like two pals hanging out, because that's what makes me comfortable. I am a pretty outgoing person, but I don't go into it with any expectations or even really any excitement, probably because men let me down so much. But, I get it all the time. Oh, are you excited? Are you excited? And I just straight up tell them, yeah, I don't really get excited for much, but I am looking forward to meeting you. Rule number 8, make sure they're actually taking an interest in you as a person. If you do not ask me how my day was at least once a day, I don't see it as you care. Yeah, sure, whatever, things may come up sometimes, but it's important for me to have somebody care about my days. And I also look at to see what kind of questions they're asking me. Are they truly getting to know me for me? Rule number 9, time commitment. Time commitment is probably one of my biggest ones. I am a very, very busy person, so I make time for people. I have 4 planners. So yeah, maybe I have to pencil you in. And I only meet people up on the weekends. I do not meet on the weekdays until I start developing a relationship with you. To me, if you start saying that you're too busy, you start canceling, it's a no for me, because I'm one of the most busiest people in the world and I make time. So if you can't, then I won't. Rule number 10, start looking at their characteristics, which of course is a part of dating, but just look out for any red flags, signs of control. I obviously dress a certain way, post certain things. Now there's an online persona that I portray when really I'm a prude and I don't like people touching me. But I still like to look good and feel confident. And if men start telling me how I should dress and stuff like that, done. Rule number 11, if making me comfortable is not a priority for you, you are definitely not for me. I move very, very slow until I'm comfortable with things. And that's a wide variety. And if you're throwing any shade, anger, whatever it may be, then you aren't really a good person to me. Rule number 12, I will not give out my phone number, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is, for about a week. And then I also will not meet you for 2 weeks to maybe even 2 months. I really like to get to know the person through the phone first. That's my thing, because then when you meet them, you basically already know them and it just makes things easier. And that's why I said going into it with no expectations and just kind of hanging out. So don't give your information up so quickly. All right, I think we're on rule number 13. Do not rush into things. Take your time. I won't even put a title on anything for at least 3 months, because it is statistically proven that you will start seeing the real person for that 3-month mark. You can't really fake it past that point. So if that really is your person, take your time. You'll have your whole life together. There's no rush. And lastly, rule number 14, never swear at your partner. To me, I think it's degrading, it's rude, and it causes a lot more conflict because they're nasty words. When I was in my 8.5-year relationship, we never swore at each other. That was a boundary that I set in place at 16 years old. So, when I go on these dates and maybe they'll do like a little, something swearing at me, and I'm like, no, here, let me tell you right now, you are never going to swear at me. That makes me uncomfortable, and I think it's degrading, and I don't think it means for a good partnership. So don't let anybody belittle you.